so we've played out both parts of the first week. All right, so now we're going to start the second week. Okay, so we're going to put this back up here. We're going to have to rebid for initiative. But before that, we're going to have to set up for the round. And you'll notice there's a number up here, a light number. It's a 2. 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. These are the number of troops we're going to draw from our bag and put into our recruitment box. All right, so at the start of week 2, both sides are going to get 2 more units put into their recruitment center. So let's go do that first. All right, let's see what we get here. We're going to be able to call in this guy and this way. We've got a lot of units hanging out there. All right, taking care of those blocks. Now, let's deal with our cards in our hand. Okay, so at the end of every week, the first thing we have to do with the cards is we have to discard half of our hand, rounding into down to the players in the player's favor. So in this case, we have 4 cards. We're going to have to discard 2 of them. All right, well, that's a no-brainer. We'll keep our special attack and our double deploy. All right, we're going to discard all of those. Now, we get to draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. The next thing that happens is you count the castles, all right? The player who has the most castles under their control is going to get to draw an extra card. So let's see how the castles stack up. All right, let's do a quick castle count. Now, so far, we haven't had a siege yet, so the castles are still in their game starting alignment, all right? So, let's see, Tokugawa, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. There's nobody in it, but it's still aligned with us. And if we cruise over here, 5. Okay, we have 5 right now with us. And let's see, Ashita, they're still sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4. So we are ahead by 1 castle. So we're going to get 1 extra card. Ooh, another loyalty card. We'll take that. All right. There's one other part of this game, though, remember. There's also these little blocks. Resource. Yes, that's what they're called. Resource points. And the person who has the most resource locations, the most little red dots, they're going to get an extra block to their recruitment center. So now we have to go around and count the resource points, all right? So let's see. The resource points are, for us, I see 1 here, and the rest of ours are actually on the other side of the table. So 1, 2, and hiding behind these guys, 3. Okay, we control 3 resource points. No, we control, if we peek back there, 4. Wow, we're doing really good on resource points. We control 4 resource points. And I'm looking around here. Ashita. Nothing down here. Let's head back this way. There it is. They only control 1. So we are going to get to add another block to our recruitment center. All right, 1 more block. Holy moly. So at this point, we're going into the beginning of the second week. We have 6 units waiting to be deployed. And our hand of cards has gone up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow, so you can see how by the second week, remember that the first hand we played, we had what, 5 cards, we had to discard 1 for initiative, we were playing with 4 cards. You can't get into these massive battles. But with 8 cards in our hand, we can now, not only can we move, we're also going to be able to do some serious fighting. All right. So let's do a quick initiative bid, and then the only thing I think I have left to run through is a siege. And I believe, if I remember right, Ueda is ripe for the picking. So let's take care of initiative first. All right, time to bid for initiative. Now, Ueda is ripe for the pickings. I mean, we can take this city if we can get there first. And so to ensure that, I'm going to bid a 4. All right. It's a little bit high, but I want to make sure I get first crack at this. All right. I'm going to play our 4. And Ishida, oh, all right. This was a good call. She plays a 3. I just actually picked that card randomly from the hand, so hurrah for that. We're going to beat her, okay? So we're going to discard these guys. They're out of play. We're going to set our marker to give us the initiative. And we're going to launch the first part of the week. Oh, poor little Ueda. They are not long for this world. All right. Let me show you how you besiege a city. All right. So, when you go into siege combat, only the attacker plays. All right. The defender does nothing. They don't play any cards. They don't have any units. Their people are just hiding in the city and hoping for the best. Okay. So the attacker gets to play as many cards as she can. And what you're trying to do is generate 7 impact points. All right. For every 7 points we manage to generate, the defender must lose 1 block of her choice. Okay. So in order for us to successfully take out Ueda, we're going to have to generate a total of 14 points of impact. To do that, I'm going to need both of my stacks. All right. So these guys are down here in Saku, so I'm going to have to move them up. So I'm going to have to spend I'm going to have to take a movement in this turn. The question is, do I want to spend a card and do it, or do I just want to move this 1 stack? The only thing I'm thinking about is all of those people in my recruitment area, but I'm going to hold on to my cards. So I'm not going to spend any cards, and I'm going to just go for the minimal movement. I'm going to move 1 stack of 4 or less. They have a base movement of 1, so I don't have to generate anything else. So we're going to move into Ueda. All right. So I got 8 blocks here. I have to generate 14 points. And what makes this tricky, okay, is that the special abilities cannot be used. All right. So this means that my beautiful, bonuses for guns and cavalry, they're not going to count, which is kind of a bummer. All right. However, you do get the benefit of deploying blocks using a similar, in the same clan. You do get that 1 point bonus. And the defender cannot play loyalty cards on you. All right, so you don't have to worry about that. All you're doing is trying to generate enough points to take out some of these blocks. So let's see what we can do. Okay. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull out both of our leaders. Remember, these guys come out for free. Okay. This is a bit risky because we are going to be showing the main man, Tokugawa himself. So Ishida now knows where Tokugawa is on this board. So that's a little risky. But that's going to give us 2 points of impact. All right. To get the rest of these guys out, we're We're gonna have to play some cards. All right, so let's see here. I've already got one of these, so I want to play as many of this symbol as I can. I got two more in reserve. Let's see if I've got... loyalty card's not going to help me. Okay, I got one. Remember, the special ability isn't going to work. I got two. Fabulous. All right, so let's call these guys out. I'm going to call him out first. So he's going to get 1 point for his base symbol. He's also going to get a +1 bonus because he's joining another of his clanmates. So that means I'm now up to, and I'm just going to do this on the impact track, but I'm not going to jump back and forth because I'm feeling lazy. So I had 2, 3, 4. So I'm now at 4 points. Okay? I'm going to call in my next dude. He's going to join. He has a base impact of 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm up to 7. In that, but he also gets +1, +2. 1, 2. We're up to 9. Okay, so we've taken out one of his units, but I would really like to see if I can get up to 14. So who do I have left? All right, let's do this one next. Let's call him out. He doesn't match anybody on the board, but you know, it's 2 points. I'll take it. All right, 9, 10, 11. And then let's finish him off with, I need 1, 2, 3. I need 3 points. So I'm going to have to, if I play him, I'll get 1 point and a backup of 2. It's not enough. Oh, bummer. I'm going to have to burn my double deploy card. All right. This is a spendy siege, but this is how it works. So I get to deploy 2 units of the same color. So first I'm going to deploy this guy. He's going to score 1 + 1. He's going to get me 2 points. He's going to get me up to 13. Then I'm going to deploy my last unit. He's going to get me 2 points, 3 points, 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Taking me up to 17. All right. So at this point, both the discs are removed, or the blocks, I suppose you would call them. And I have taken over this castle. Took a lot of cards to do it, but we did it. All right. So that's how sieges work. They're very simple. You just need to generate points. The defender can't do anything except wait and see what the final tally is. Now this castle now belongs to me. They give you 2 victory points, so that's a good thing. Man, I got a bunch of people here too. All right, fabulous. Now, just like before, you do get some card replenishments, all right? So we have to discard all of these cards that we played, all right? But we do get to draw this many back. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to get 4 new cards into our hands. 1, fabulous. 2. I don't know, this is the first time this symbol's come up. 3. Coming up in spades. All right. So our hand size is back. But remember, at the same time, after a siege, the defending party draws 1 card for every block lost. So, Ishida lost 2 blocks, they're going to get 2 cards. So Ishida's going to have just a ton of cards. So do we. But you can see how at this point out, this game gets really battle heavy because you've got a bunch of people sitting in your recruitment center and you have a bunch of cards. So let me pull out a little bit and look at the board, and I think this might be a good place to call it. Okay, so maybe this will give you a good idea of what ended up happening just in this first week. You can see how the board kind of gets divided. And this happened in our game as well, where you have Tokugawa sort of taking over this side. Ishida still has 1 strong post up here, and it's a recruitment center, so he can still pull troops in over here. But for the most part, this is pretty much dominated right now by Tokugawa. Okay. The flip side, of course, being that On this side of the board, it's heavily influenced by Ishida. Okay, we definitely got beat back here. We do have a one rally point here where we can recall troops, but it's really hard to get your units in here because there are so few rally points. All right, you got one way up there, but you're walking down dirt roads to get here, and your other ones are over here, way down here and way up there. So getting additional troops into this area, it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of movement. And while I'm trying to move in, I can guarantee you Ishida's just going to be beating me down here. And I have 2 castles with no defense in them. All right, so those are probably going to get taken. Right, and then of course I have 2 castles up there with very few blocks in them as well. So when we played, there was definitely a consolidation of power happening on this side with the gold blocks, whereas the blacks were definitely dominated over here. And from this point out, from week 2 out, you have such a huge hands of cards, and you have so many blocks to pull in that after every move there tends to be a battle. All right. No longer do you have turns where you move but nothing happens except you move. It'll be move and attack, move and attack, move and attack. But I think this gave you a pretty good idea of the mechanics of how the game worked, how to generate movement points, which is really simple. We never had a problem with it. It's a little tricky to remember for deploying your troops. How does the special ability work? The bonus if you're deploying troops of the same type. How many cards do I get? But I must say that the game does a really good job of giving you a very nice, handy little reference sheet. Reference sheet that really lays out the basics, and there's 2 of them. Just keep them by your side. Go through it. The rules are really nice. There are a few run-throughs, especially for scoring battle and this impact track and how that works. That if you go through their examples of how a turn combat plays out, I think you can figure it out. I just think it's such a fun little game, and it really, mechanically, the rules are not that difficult. But it does get complex fast, so playing against myself is fun, but I think that's about as far as I can go as far as this walkthrough works. All right, so this is Sekigahara, the unification of Japan. Hope you enjoyed it.